将近，早死一些，晚死一些，又有什么区别？可是还能拖着你一道走，也不算亏了。
你就不怕真因为满某炼化，连轮回之机都没有了？
满道友还是先思量下，怎么接下老夫的真雷？
因此冒着偌大风险，采了一只化形雷晶，就为弄到他体内的吸雷珠。秦丸子，看他算是什么？我只出3声，把古殿男扔过来，不然为了你这具皮囊。 不管如何，应该追回。
Welcome, everyone, to this week's special video. And so, after a 5-year wait, we have finally witnessed Han Li's breakthrough to the Nascent Soul stage, a heaven and earth-shaking event. This is also the 3rd Nascent Soul we've gotten to see, following the appearances of Man Huzi's and one Tianming's Nascent Souls. So, are any of you fellow Taoists wondering whether Han Li's Nascent Soul is weaker or stronger than the other two? Well then, I invite you all to watch this detailed analysis and comparison between Han Li's Nascent Soul and those of Man Huzi and Wan Tianming. If you have any questions while watching the video, please leave a comment below. At the same time, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel. Everyone, a comparison of the Nascent Souls of Man Huzi, Wan Tianming, and Han Li, an in-depth look. In the vast cultivation world of a record of a mortal's journey to immortality, the Nascent Soul stage is an incredibly important realm. It marks the true transformation from a mortal to a practitioner on the path of the Tao. A cultivator's nascent soul is not only the vessel for their entire cultivation base and spiritual sense, but also a reflection of their cultivation techniques, temperament, and fortuitous encounters. Comparing the nascent souls of 3 prominent figures in the scattered star seas, Man Huzi, Wan Tianming, and Han Li, will reveal the stark differences in their cultivation paths and strengths. 1. Man Huzi's nascent soul, cold and vicious. As one of the 2 saints of the scattered star seas from the demonic path, Man Huzi cultivates a profound scripture, a demonic are the ultimate and ultimate cold. This determines the characteristics of his nascent soul. Attribute. Man Huzi's nascent soul possesses a pure and extremely cold demonic attribute. It is forged in an environment dense with demonic chi and chi, granting a high resistance to righteous path techniques and a powerful corrosive effect on the magic treasures and spiritual sense of his opponents. Appearance and aura. Although not described in great detail in the story, it can be inferred that his nascent soul takes the form of a miniature person enveloped in black chi or profound chi. It emits a cold, evil aura that can make others shiver uncontrollably. Divine abilities. The divine abilities of Man Huzi's nascent soul primarily revolve around the manipulation of profound chi. This includes transforming into various demonic heads, launching corrosive and illusion-inducing spiritual sense attacks, and the ability to perform body seizure, possession, and devour other nascent souls to empower itself. Its greatest strength lies in its explosive power and terrifying destructive force over a short period. 2. Wan Tianming's nascent soul, righteous chi and overbearing. In complete contrast to Man Huzi, Wan Tianming represents the righteous path and is a leader of the Righteous Tao Alliance. He cultivates the righteous chi art, a top-tier righteous technique that emphasizes radiant righteousness and pure yang power. Attribute. Wan Tianming's nascent soul possesses a pure yang attribute and is nourished by the righteous chi of heaven and earth. This gives his nascent soul a powerful restraining effect against demonic arts, especially those involving chi and demonic chi. Appearance and aura. His nascent soul is described as a miniature person emitting a faint golden light, carrying an aura of radiant righteousness, and being incredibly condensed. It exerts a strong oppressive feeling on cultivators with inner demons or those who practice demonic arts. Divine abilities. The divine abilities of Wan Tianming's nascent soul are geared towards stability, endurance, and direct power. He can utilize righteous chi to execute divine abilities with immense destructive power, solid defense, and particularly skills for purification and dispelling demonic arts. His nascent soul has greater endurance and recovery capabilities compared to those of the demonic path. 3. Han Li's nascent soul, unique and full of variables. Han Li is a special and unique case among the 3, possessing 2 nascent souls, each with its own origin and characteristics, creating a combined strength that far surpasses other cultivators of the same level. First nascent soul, primary nascent soul. Cultivation technique. Formed from his main cultivation technique, the Azure Essence Sword Art. Attribute. It has a wood attribute. However, Thanks to practicing various other techniques and absorbing numerous heavenly and earthly treasures, this nascent soul's purity and condensation level far exceed that of an ordinary cultivator. It possesses strong vitality, recovery abilities, and can easily merge with other types of spiritual power. Characteristics: because it was condensed under extremely perilous conditions and underwent an unusual lightning tribulation, this nascent soul has incredibly powerful spiritual sense. It was also nourished by the 10,000-year spirit milk, giving an exceptionally solid foundation. Its divine abilities mainly involve controlling flying swords and casting wood attribute spells. Second nascent soul, secondary nascent soul. Cultivation technique. Formed coincidentally when cultivating the second layer of the Great Development Art, combined with the spiritual sense of Chu-Han, a special type of out-of-body avatar. Attribute. Initially, it carried Chu-Han's spiritual sense and could be considered a type of demonic soul or spirit soul, not entirely identical to a conventional cultivator's nascent soul. It has no spiritual power of its own and depends on the primary nascent soul. Characteristics. The greatest strength of the second nascent soul is the incredibly refined control over spiritual sense granted by the Great Development Art. It allows Han Li to perfectly multitask, divide his mind for two tasks, controlling a large number of magic treasures and puppets without confusion. This is a massive tactical advantage, enabling him to execute complex strategies that other cultivators cannot. The nascent souls of Man Huzi and Wan Tianming are typical representatives of the opposing righteous and demonic cultivation paths. One side embodies insidious ruthlessness and explosive power, while the other represents radiant righteousness and endurance. Meanwhile, Han Li's nascent souls are an entirely different existence. Possessing dual nascent souls is not simply a case of 1 + 1 = 2. It gives Han Li an overwhelming advantage in spiritual sense control and combat versatility. The second nascent soul, with its foundation in the Great Development Art, has become a powerful secondary brain, helping him overcome countless dangers and face enemies stronger than himself. This is one of the greatest fortuitous encounters that has made his path of cultivation so unique. Follow-up question segment. So, for the next question, whose nascent soul is the strongest? It can be stated with certainty, Han Li's nascent soul is the strongest, far superior to those of Man Huzi and Wan Tianming. This superiority lies not just in its surface-level cultivation base, but in its fundamental nature, structure, and potential for growth. Below is a detailed analysis. You are currently watching content on the 1991 review channel. If you find the video interesting and useful, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to the channel, everyone. Why are the nascent souls of Man Huzi and Wan Tianming weaker? Man Huzi and Wan Tianming represent the pinnacle of the traditional path of nascent soul cultivation. They are both peak late nascent soul stage cultivators, leaders in their own right. Their nascent souls are incredibly powerful, condensed, and possess terrifying divine abilities. Their power is linear. They cultivate a primary technique, profounding scripture or righteous chi art, and develop their nascent soul along that path. Their strength lies in the purity and depth of their spiritual power, coupled with vast combat experience. The system's limitation: no matter how strong they are still bound by the framework of one cultivator, one nascent soul. Every action, from controlling magic treasures to executing divine abilities, is handled by a single nascent soul. Why is Han Li's nascent soul a cheat? Han Li's nascent soul completely breaks the conventional rules. His strength comes not from one, but from the combination of two nascent souls with unique characteristics. 1. The overwhelming advantage in spiritual sense, thanks to the Great Development Art and dual nascent souls. This is the biggest and most decisive difference. Wan Tianming and Man Huzi, although their spiritual sense is strong, it is still just that of a single late nascent soul cultivator. Han Li, he possesses a spiritual sense of two nascent souls combined. More importantly, the second nascent soul was formed on the foundation of the Great Development Art, a technique specializing in cultivating spiritual sense. This makes the total amount and control of Han Li's spiritual sense far exceed any cultivator at the same level. This advantage allows him to achieve perfect multitasking. He can control his body to fight while simultaneously having a second nascent soul execute another complex divine ability or command hundreds of gold-devouring beetles or an army of puppets. This is something Man Huzi and Wan Tianming could never do. Superior resistance and attack with spiritual sense. He is nearly immune to conventional spiritual sense attacks and can use his own to overwhelm his opponents in return. 2. A solid foundation and superior purity. Han Li's primary nascent soul was nourished by the 10,000-year spirit milk and tempered by the golden lightning bamboo during his tribulation. This makes his spiritual power much purer and more condensed than that of ordinary cultivators, granting him superior strength and endurance. 3. Absolute safety and survivability. Possessing two nascent souls is equivalent to having an extra life. Even if the primary nascent soul is in danger or trapped, the secondary nascent soul can still act to rescue it or help the body escape. This is a life-saving trump card that no one else has. 4. Versatility and unpredictability in combat. Han Li's opponents always face an unknown variable. They think they are fighting one person, but they are actually facing a perfectly coordinated two-person team. Han Li can use one nascent soul to attract attention, while the other secretly prepares a fatal blow. Comparison in actual combat. If at the same early or mid-nascent soul stage, Han Li might not be stronger than Tianming in a direct confrontation of pure spiritual power. However, with a superior spiritual sense and ability to control puppets and magic treasures, he could absolutely use strategy to win or escape easily. When all are at the late nascent soul stage, the difference will become starkly clear. At this point, both Han Li's spiritual power and spiritual sense would have reached their peak. The combination of his two nascent souls would create an overwhelmingly dominant combined force. The battle at the Palace of the Void Heaven proved this, as Han Li was able to confront and escape from the pursuit of both these old monsters when his cultivation had not yet even reached the late stage. The nascent souls of man Huzi and Tianming are perfect products of a conventional cultivation system. But Han Li's nascent soul is a breakthrough product, a miracle that shatters the rules. Its strength lies not only in its spiritual power, but also in its superior structure, unparalleled spiritual sense, and infinite potential. Therefore, Han Li's nascent soul is undoubtedly the strongest. Outro. What about you? Do you have any additional thoughts? Please leave your personal opinions in the comments section below. For now, this is 1991 Review, signing off. Goodbye and see you in the next video.